Hi everybody, here's the GC going into stage 14. As expected, the break did make it on stage 13. We've lost another two riders today, with Barguil from Arkea not starting due to a positive COVID test and Victor Lafay at Cofidis not finishing stage 13. In the green jersey competition, Wout took the remaining points at the intermediate sprint and at the finish line, this way further extending his lead in the standings. There's now 410 points left to score and Wout is 169 points ahead. With Barguil out of the race, we lost a contender for the polka dot jersey. Geschke holds on to the jersey and you can almost certainly expect him in the break for stage 14. Given that I won't be in over the weekend, I'm now sharing my favorites for both stage 14 and 15, starting with stage 14 from Saint-Etienne to Mende, which runs over 192 kilometers. And it ends with a 3-kilometer climb at 10% just prior to the finish. In 2018, Omar Fraile won from the break on this finish ahead of Alaphilippe and Stuyven. Just like yesterday's stage, I'm also expecting stage 14 to be won from the break, this time by a puncher or a GC man who's lost sufficient time to be allowed into the break. Here's the stage odds at the time of recording. To be honest, I would love to see Roglic in the break for a stage win. It's a wild shot and unlikely to happen, yet I'm taking him amongst my top 10 favorites. From the break, I'm going once more for Dylan Teuns at Bahrain, Andreas Kroon at Lotto Soudal and Mollema at Trek. At Bahrain, Caruso could also be an option. I'm also expecting Kemna again, Michael Woods at Israel Premier Tech and Jon Izagirre at Cofidis. Then, looking at his long week performance, Matthews also can't be excluded. In my book, he should also try to get into the break. Others I'm expecting to try and get into the break are Pinot at Groupama, Latour at Total Energie and Manches at Intermarché. And then finally, with no win yet in this tour and the GC completely out of the picture, I'm expecting EF to get at least two riders into the break and trying to go for the win with Nilsson Paulus. In terms of top 10 favorites for stage 14, I'm giving 4 stars to Paulus, 3 stars to Kemna, Woods and Matthews, 2 to Manches, Pinot and Latour, and finally 1 star for Kroon, Mollema and Teuns. In terms of podium prediction for this 14th stage of the 2022 Tour de France, I have Paulus for the win, followed by Woods and Teuns. Then, moving on to stage 15, which takes us over 202 kilometers from Rhodes to Carcassonne. On this stage, we have the Côte de Camas, a 5 km 4% climb, with the top at 50 kilometers from the finish. Note that Groenewegen survived a shorter climb with similar gradients on stage 13, so we can expect him to survive here as well, and to be in the mix for the victory. Something tells me that the sprinter teams are not going to let this one get away from them. At the time of recording, the stage odds for stage 15 were not yet available. Please also note that I'm recording this prediction prior to stage 14, so please consider the events of stage 14 when listening to this overview. The men to watch in my book are Van Poppel at Bora, Wout at Jumbo-Visma, Dainese at DSM and Groenewegen at Bike Exchange. Ewan at Lotto, assuming it doesn't have too many consequences from his crash on stage 13. This was not yet clear at the time of recording. Then Petersen at Trek, Philipsen at Alpecin and Jacobsen at Quickstep. Christophe and Pascalon at Intermarché, Sagan at Total Energie, Hofstetter at Arkea and Mozzato at B&B Hotels. In terms of top 10 favorites for stage 15, I have 4 stars for Groenewegen, 3 stars for Philipsen, Wout van Aert, Jacobsen and Pedersen, 2 stars for Sagan, Ewan and Dainese, and 1 star for Hofstetter and Van Poppel. In terms of podium prediction for stage 15 of the 109 Tour de France, I have Philipsen in the lead, followed by Wout van Aert and Groenewegen. Thanks for watching, leave your thoughts in the comments below, like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.